Do you guys want to say hi? Do you guys want to give me a hell yeah? This is the last episode of Frieren, and then we're getting SPN. We're talking about it, and we're literally finishing all of this up, ladies and gentlemen. This first episode of Frieren. Give me a hell yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a hell yeah. Drop them fucking Doritos if you guys are fucking hyped, ladies and gentlemen. Show them that peace and love as we reach this ending for everything on here. Con Clasher, welcome on in. Yo, welcome. We're at episode 4 of Frieren. Give me a hell yeah. Drop Doritos. Give it the biggest fucking party out there, ladies and gentlemen. Hell yeah. Hi, YouTube. Hi, bienvenidos al canal. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Hey, we are on episode 4. We decided to keep on going because fuck it. I think that this deserves us to watch it in its entirety and then wait for Friday. And then wait for Friday for everything to come through and for you guys to come along and join us here on Twitch. We have everyone in here, amazing individuals. There's a lot of in-betweens, stuff, silliness that happens usually before the editors cut out the beginning intro. So come on and join us completely free. All of these videos are unmonetized, ladies and gentlemen, when they go up on YouTube, because as they should be. Again, the main purpose of this channel is to go ahead and analyze the characters, the behaviors, ask some deep questions, talk about, like, you know, all the things that we can talk about, maybe even introspect a little bit together, right? Because that's what we should go ahead and do. I'm so proud and so happy that you guys are here, and honestly, I'm beyond blown away by the amount of people that are really interested on this, even with this being the first episode and even without it really being on the channel, because the first episode hasn't gone up on the channel. I appreciate the love and support of all of you guys. With that being said, are you guys ready? Also, we're going to have an SB on today because it's the ending of these 3 episodes, and SB should join on for this discussion piece. He'll be on every episode from here on out because it's weekly, as long as they don't drop 3 or 4 episodes altogether. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Steady, set. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. How are you finding the show so far? Only saw your reaction to like part 1 out of 4. Really fucking good. It is really, really, really good. I mean, we're 4 hours in and we're starting episode 3, so I think that's pretty good. Okay. When is she in motion and when is she not in motion? The special ending. Wait, what is the special ending? Because I feel like since the song first started, she was in motion, right? This group of adventurers... This group of adventurers... Also, forgot to mute. Thank you. Sorry. Right, forgot to mute. This first 20 seconds have to be muted because Twitch copyright is pretty rough on this one. He reaches out to her, and it's like everything stops. The TV broadcast has a special ending theme. We're watching the streaming broadcast. Oh, the TV broadcast. Ooh. Does anybody have that on like YouTube or something where I can go ahead and find it? Because I feel like there might be more to go ahead and take in. Okay. I gotta ask it. Mods, can you make this poll, please? Who do you prefer? Mods, are you ready? First one, Frieren. Second one, Emilia. Third one, Lena from 86. I guess fourth one, Sylphiette. I'm really curious. Like, who do you guys prefer in this environment? In this, you know, like, who do you think you'd best get along with? Who do you think would be your... It's a white-haired girl poll on this one, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you go for and why? I'm really, really curious. And Frieren is winning. Of course it is. On its own show, of course it would be. Environment, edge room. But this is why, like, I don't know, touching on this, I'm like... It's interesting to think about how these characters can relate to us in so many ways. And for the most part, if you were to show a character of all these like white-haired girls to like someone that doesn't watch anime, they would just be like, oh, it's the same white-haired girl. Frieren for sure. I love my petite wizard girls. Oh, is that what you're into, Eidolon? As we're navigating through this, I'm sort of wondering, and I know we talked about goals, but what is Friren's dream? Like, if she could go back and do a rerun, would her dream be able to connect with that party and maybe actually manifest that party? Her first original party? Like, actually having the time to be there with them and grow and laugh and journey and so many things? Or is it to evolve and become a better person in the here and now? That's where I'm at. What is the difference between her subconscious dream and her actual dream, right? Through that. If you live 1,000 years, what is a dream? Mm. Good question. Grace would cry if he saw this poll, probably. All right, we should be able to listen to it like right around now. But even through this, look. I find it interesting that even her shadow self has a bit of color. So we had the Demon King. That's what they talked about. That's what they've been talking about, like their journey was to defeat. So there's a demon race, right? Are there other races that haven't been good? Oh, hold on. Are there other races that haven't been introduced, right? It sounds not should now be on. Because what I'm thinking about is, number one, say that there are still other races out there, right? Like, I don't know, beast girls, cat girls, or something out there, right? How do they interact with human society? Or even the demon race in of itself, if it still exists, how do they interact with the society? Are they good people, or are they still considered evil? Or is it the terms of nature? What is a person's nature? Do you believe that nurture can outweigh nature in this environment, in this society in of itself? For example, if elves were evil people that took children to the woods and ate them up, like you know, like fucking little rats gnawing at people, like, and that was a part of their nature. Do you think that an elf that grew outside of the woods in an environment where it's more like city-like, that's not isolated or anything like that, would be different? Or would their nature, you know, their internal nature outweigh that? So same thing that I would consider out for any of these races. Like, what concepts do you touch on in a situation like this? Like, does a person's, like, how much effort does nurture take to overcome nature? Yeah. So there is okay, the demon race is interesting. Asking the questions of all time. Because these are questions that are coming into mind, which is like, even for elves, is there a thing as, like, if we're going to be honest about it, racism? Right? Considering that, like, we haven't seen any other elves. So is there a theme of, like, people being prejudiced against you from being of a different class other than human in this world? The recency and survivor biases in this poll is insane. Oh, you will love how races are presented in the show. I'm curious. I'm really curious as to how this is going to navigate this land, like this literal field. And this all comes to mind by the aspects of the shadows of people that we're seeing here. Because I'm not seeing no, like, mixed shadow person of, like, you know, mixed cat demon race individual in here. They're jealous. I'd be honest. I'd want an elf waifu. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, yo, I might be like a pet to them. Like, you know, it might be like 10 years for them, 100 years for me. But like, or a year for them, 100 years for me. But like elf waifus nibbling on their ears, oof, oof. This is still the intro, Mixed Burger. We never got out of the intro. If the sex drive of the elves are as low as we saw, it would be their numbers are so low. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello, ¿cómo estás, godos? Appreciate you being here. Thanks for the follow. For the loving of elf, because they'd live without you. Yeah. But I mean, it's the same thing as, so, like, us with animals, right? We're like, we can grow so attached to our pets, and they pass away, and sometimes we can be there for their entire lives, right? And it can be quite a bit. Vampire girl, so ooh. Muyo, keep putting that, especially towards the ending, because that's something that I'd pick up. Mods, take on that one. Sage, yo, do you have any pictures of you in the maid? You gotta show us. You gotta put it in the Discord. You as your maid. Nibble on Elsie ear is not something I was expecting to hear today. Well, welcome on in. Appreciate you. Welcome on in. Vod is still up. Oh, look at you. Here's an interesting question, and here's a good reflectionary question for you guys, and maybe even for Frieren. And I asked this a lot in Moshiko Tensei, but I'm gonna ask it here, and I want you guys to gauge maybe your responses to this. How will Frieren, if Frieren could give advice to her younger self, what advice would she give? What do you think? I think that it would probably be something along the lines of like, cherish your friends or cherish your memories with them, like something along those lines, right? Hang with the heroes, of course, yeah. Or maybe even notice Himel's feelings towards you or something. I don't know. Like, I'm really curious about what advice she would probably give to her younger self in terms of. There are some characters in here that we haven't seen that I'm sure we'll get to, but mm, 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 mm. Like Elf Daddy here. Elf Daddy priest looking dude. Uh Reinhardt from ReZero coming into this world apparently. I don't know. I don't know who this dude is. But clearly like they all have different intent. Smoke Daddy. Whoever she is, it has the same red crystal that Frieren has on her ears. Could be a ruby or could be something. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is she somehow related to Frieren? Is she like a teacher or a friend or something? Because we usually copy people based off of. Wait a fucking minute. Yeah, hold on. Mommy Frieren? A mommy? Like, who is she? Hold on. Must be her granddaughter. I doubt it, brother. I think this is like past based, or maybe it is future based. It could be. But I'm like, mm, mm. What is her relationship to Frieren? Because she's not an elf. Oh. Oh. What is she? She's not a rat. Is she in heaven? What if she's immortal? What if there is like a spell of immortality or something like that? And it's all in these red crystals or some shit. I don't know. I'm just making up theories at this point. But like there has to be some sort of connection between her and Frieren in some way, shape, or form. The clothes are the same or very similar. You'd go to heaven for her? You see, and it's swinging back and forward. Mm. Who taught her magic? Who taught Frieren magic? Because we're clearly seeing Frieren teach Fren magic, but who taught Frieren magic? Like, do the elves have a magician that teach other people magic, or do they contract outside? That's a memento if I exactly forecast. That's a legacy if we've ever seen one. We've been talking about legacy this whole time. And this might be a legacy heirloom or something like that as well, right? The magic rats. It took me 4 episodes to really come into this and even touch on that, which is how did Frieren learn magic? Very rat heavy. I love how you guys use rats just to like not even like touch on things. Who taught Frieren? I don't know. What if she was taught magic like hold on. Hold on. Sorry, just stay with me on this one. I know it's muted. I muted it. At the northernmost end of the continent, I arrived at the place that the people of this world called heaven. Aroli. I love fucking you guys with that one again. The land. Many souls gather there. I spoke with friends who once. Wait, Flam, the legendary mage. So there is a heaven that they can touch on. There is a heaven that they can reach, and there's friends and people there. Are we about to see Frieren take on this trip then, and literally be in a world or in a society, Flame, where like she might be able to connect with the heroes of the past? Hold on, hold on. I- is it gonna be a place or scenario or an instance where Frieden might be able to go there and talk with them, would talk with Himel and talk with them or friends of the past, but also Flame, the legendary mage. But how long ago was this? Do you think that they knew each other? If it wasn't that long ago, do you think that um, do you think that Frieden and Flame might have known one another? Play with fire and you'll get perned. 80 years and a hero's already a legend. Yeah, yeah. Flame has burned brightly and went out quickly. But it says a legendary mage, so I'm sure that like Frieden must have heard of this person, right? My mind is all over the place. My mind is just ignore it. Senor Pinguino, do you want to say it? Do you want to say uh, sometimes coincidences fucking happen? Uh we literally are watching this live like there's no fucking way, bro. Yeah, something was something like that. What the fuck? Wait, why are books attributed to Flame fake though? Is it just based off of like maybe Flame is just a mythos and people don't really fucking know her? And so people started making up these wild stories. wait, wait. So then doesn't that mean like if we were to put that into contextual information, Frieren must know more than she's letting on, right? Yeah, like copycats, maybe. It's sort of like saying, like, I remember going with Dad to a bar and really must have, like, he loved vodka. He preferred vodka over tequila. And it's like, no, like, if those that know me know that I love tequila. Like, I love, like, all sorts of things. I love coffee. I love this. I love that, right? So it's like, at what point how would she know they are fake? Well, that's the thing is like unless you've known or you have a lived experience or you have an experience with an individual, how do you know that they're fake? Unless there's like elements of like when you see like the Pokemon cards and like you rip it and you know when a fake one is like there because of like the materials that they use for them, which is always disappointing. By the way, I have a shit ton of Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I should probably check their value or something. Yeah, I have a lot of Pokemon cards. Never mind. You guys got me on a whole nother rant right now about like my Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I should probably check their value. Well, she does collect magic books and she's been around for centuries. Yeah, and it could very much be Conclasher. It could very much be because of that as well. Like she probably came around a couple of copycats instances like that. Your fake Pokemon cards. You mean yes, yes. Pokemon pricing stream? That would be cool. When the grandmas tell you, have a good day, be careful. You're gonna have a good fucking day. You gotta be careful, Ferun. You gotta be fucking careful. And 3 months have already passed, but at the same time, you're now a regular. Oh, oof. I'll be honest. I since I started working at this new place, it warms my heart. Been going to this barbecue place, like this Filipino barbecue place. It's absolutely fucking delicious, and I don't know how else to say it other than like first I walked in there and they were like, "Hey, what do you want?" But because I go there quite regularly, they have a bunch of amazing options. Like I go in there now, they're like, "Hey, we know what you want. We got you," and like they immediately know my order, and I'm like, "Dude, oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. Well priced food. I can sit down and eat, feel fulfilled." It's yeah, it's amazing when you go to a restaurant, a club, a bar, somewhere, and people already like, they're like, "Hey, you're here," or whatever, right? I love the cold. Cold weather is my thing, man. But I know for a lot of people, cold weather it makes it extra hard to wake up in the morning. Cold weather makes it extra hard for them to be able to go and like get their day started and whatnot. For me, it's like because I live in the desert, extreme heat. Oh, extreme heat. It's hard to wake up in the morning, man. Especially if I'm in my like nice, cool AC room. But this literal like I love cold weather. Yeah, but like this aspect of like their relationship and showing how they're taking care of one another, I think that's cute. That's huge, right? I feel like psychology does a very good job of touching on elements that might be that might be showcased. Mommy Fern, dude. Oh, mommy. She does have a good point, though. She really, really does. She can be my mommy. Wait, what? Like, she does a really, really good point of showcasing these dynamics, though. And the show really, really does that, right? Where they're showcasing and they're playing along with the dynamics of, like, hey, this is what's present. Clearly, they've been together for traveling for a while. Clearly, she's had to go out and step up and trust her and do certain things. Where does the power dynamics lie? Aside from one being the teacher and student, if that wasn't there, how would she be? How would she be looking at Frieren? How? Yeah, she's the caretaker. So their power dynamics is going into that. And I guess who would be hurt most by leaving? Frieren or Fern? With Frieren, they be lazy together in the morning or getting carried by Fern in the morning. Both kind of rotate on who's the mom. Well, they both have different avenues, and this is a thing that comes from. You guys want a real one here? You guys want a real one here? Oh boy, we about to go with the real one here. When people are hurt, what do they do? What is Frieren's attachment style? What is Frieren's attachment style? Avoidant what? Downplays importance of relationships, is usually extremely self-reliant, can become more vulnerable when there's a big crisis. What is Fern's attachment style? Friends, Fern, whatever. Anxious? So what do we have here? Some say secure. Leads with cooperative and tends to act out when triggered, acting out like stalking, trying to find out what's going on. Frieren's not being the same, struggles to communicate needs. We've seen her struggle, but yet be open to talking about it. More dependent in relationships and avoidant, dismissive, strongly fears rejection, has low self-esteem, has high anxiety. Oh, okay. We barely seen her in a relationship. We've seen her in a relationship with Frieren, but where is she? Is she dismissive, avoidant, fearful? Where's she at? Frieren seems to be becoming more secure slowly but surely. Yeah. The reason why I'm highlighting this is because hurt people hurt people. I'm going to put it this way. Right now, they seem to be covering each other's gaps because they're two hurt people who have had ruptures in their life from attachments. These two individuals have encountered, number one, Frieren must go through this because of her age, and Fren went through this because, of family dying, and then literally her caregiver dying, the priest. And now traveling with Frieren, she suffered attachment ruptures altogether, where people have just completely died. All of these things have happened. Frieren, on the other hand, has happened. So what are they bonding over? What are they bonding over? What is the bond in? Why are they allowing themselves this ability to be vulnerable with one another? Y'all say magic, but magic is at the first layer. What's down? What's below magic? If magic is this first layer that we're all seeing because they keep saying it, there's a layer behind that. What is that other layer? Propinquity is the reason why they're bonding, but not why. Not like the major theme. The pain. Specifically, the empathy of losing a loved one, of losing friends, of losing a loved one, of losing a caretaker, of losing whatever. They're using magic as a forefront, as the conduit for why the relationship is the way it is, the promises and whatnot. But really, it could have been like, hey, I taught you everything you need to know, goodbye. They don't leave because of a reason like that, because of their attachment style. Because for Frieren, all of a sudden, They known each other for 10 years. Propinquity is in effect, yes. But you have to think about it this way. They're bonding over a trauma of loss, a trauma of grief, a trauma of everything. It's not them just spilling their guts out, but it's quite literally them just being open and you know, even the subconscious being like, hey, we're hurt. Like I'm hurt, right? I've lost these friends, and I feel like I can grow and be comfortable with you. Could be a bonding over experiences of war, of loss, of everything. Interesting show. Interesting fucking show, man. Like that's what I'm saying is magic is at the forefront that we can all point to, yes, but there's a layer behind that. And I think that's what's huge. That's what's amazing. Oof. Oof. To be fair, on weekends I love sleeping until noon. There's nothing wrong with it. If you've been productive throughout the week, good sleep until noon, bro. Like 11, 12, 1, sure, bro. Like how as long as you feel rested. Oh, hello, Speedball. Good morning. Welcome on in. Appreciate ya. Not sure I agree with that. What would that mean whenever people adopt a relative, they bond through trauma? Since both of them will always lose a relative. Dark Dog, yeah, that's an aspect as to why we bond with people. Aside from propinquity, we bond through our trauma, right? We bond through our instances of our past. And I think this is an aspect that a lot of people don't fully take into consideration is that whenever we share our stories for a reason, right? When we empathize with another individual, the other person might not tell you their full story or their full whatever, but it's from a mutual understanding of a story that's being shared, or maybe even you over empathizing with their story, right? So instances that come from this, and a lot of people seem to always like downplay it or push it into an agent of change and whatnot, instead of just empathy and mutual empathy from that. Which is, if you were to adopt a relative, say they lost their parents or whatever, and you just lost a parent, guess what? You might not bring it up because you don't want to go ahead and trigger them. But what you might end up doing is you might end up going ahead and like bonding with them, causing propinquity to go up higher because you already know of their past, because you know of what they're struggling through, and you can empathize based on your past off of that. Propinquity doesn't have to be that we bond over everything, right? Because that's impossible. But what it does state is that because of the amount of time that you spend with someone, you'll eventually find something to bond with. And it's usually a person's history, their past, or items of congruence, i.e., specialized interest. Aside from specialized interest, though, there's always something in there to look in, like to look further in. Also, trauma bonding is not letting everything out. Like, here's all of my things. It's, hey, you've gone through this, we've gone through this. Now let's use our coping strategies or defense mechanisms come into play. And we'll not say that we're bonding through this or we're coming together because I'm working on my issues, you're working on your issues. We'll say that we're together because we love music. We'll play music because we don't want to go ahead and like, you know, address or talk about certain things. I need it. I need this face, right? I need this face in as a, as an emoji, as an emo ear, because Frieren's so fucking cute. Frieren's so fucking cute. Also, Bonfire made a debut. Is that One Piece? Is that One Piece? Is that Luffy? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Our One Piece stream will come one day, or one. Oh God, why am I even saying this? Is that Gold Roger? So seeing that the boat has been there for a while, right? Seeing that the boat and their experiences, like all of this stuff has been there for a while. I'm pretty sure they haven't had a New Year's in a long time, like where the lights could reflect perfectly and whatnot. But this is sort of what I want to highlight is like Frieren is going around, and wherever she goes around, she's like cleaning and doing stuff in honor of like the memory of the heroes. And I guess for that, that was funny, dude. I saw it off the corner of my eye, and I'm not gonna. The boat represents the ship that crashed because Himel himself couldn't raise up Frieren, and yeah, polluted a new year, basically modern society. You're not wrong, Dark Thug. You're not wrong. But that's why I'm like, when it comes to this, wouldn't the word of freedom be spreading as well? That was so good, dude. Wouldn't the word of freedom be spreading as well as all of these actions? But considering how long it takes for them to travel and whatnot, like I'm assuming that word of her is also getting twisted. That's where I don't know. I don't know. My mind is like where's her legend going? The legend of Frieden, the beginning of the end of Frieden. Like where does her story entail, and how is it going to get twisted along the times? Because it's or Frieden, or you can pull off the very Latino thing, Hispanic thing. You party it up midnight, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Christmas Eve. You go to bed, boom, you're. Or do you just want to watch the sunrise? Honestly, I'm not interested, which is why I want to see it for myself. Oh, I feel that. I feel that. Making memories, man, that's probably one of the biggest things out there. Go out and make your memories. Go out and enjoy life and literally make memories with friends. And I think that this show is hitting on that in such a beautiful way, in a beautiful tone that it's really just, yeah, man. Make memories out of the shallowest things, laugh, joke, literally be as wild and as funny as you want to be because life goes on too quickly, you know. Remember the stupid shit and remember that we're all young ones and we all make mistakes and whatnot. It's just a sunrise. She can watch it next. Dark dog. That is so dark. All right, guys. It seems as though I can't stop this ad break. So, guys, quick pee pee break. Are you guys ready? Oh, man. Oh, man. All right. Yo, yo, yo. Also, Con Clasher, thanks so much, dude. I'm so glad that you've been here, dude. Because Frieren's a fucking journey, man. Like Frieren's a journey and a half. Like I feel like Frieren is ranking very high up there just for its themes that it's touching on. Like the same way that Moshiko Sensei and Arcane rank really like high for me because of the way that it goes into the character dynamics and stuff. Frieren is just blowing my mind, and I feel like this is just going to be a consistent aspect of the show, right? Frieren is way up there. Yeah, yeah, dude. I'm being like first episode made me cry. And if that says anything about the quality of this show, woo, yeah, I bloody love the manga because it's so good at world building. I think you'll be impressed more later on, dude. Like, yeah. Oh man, color me impressed. I'm already fucking there, dude. Heartfelt and poignant. Oh, her comfy faces are also a vibe. Yes, mother, fit in. When was the last time you saw mommy? We get another 20. Y'all, we're eating good. We're eating good every Friday. Fuck. Oh, sound. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'll back it up. Himmel tried everything. Himmel fucking tried everything. Himmel literally tried everything for Frieren and it just never. Frieren literally, like, you could give her a fucking ring. You could give her a ring and she would be like, "Oh, that's cute." It's like she'd be like, whatever. I find better ones." Himmel is the guy that sipped for Frieren, and it never went anywhere. She just completely unaware. Frieren didn't have enough Riz. Himmel was a tier 3 sub for Frieren, and Frieren didn't even know his name. Oh, oh. And but she also has his. No, don't say that. That's even worse, brother. Maybe he should have spelled it out. Has anti-Riz field stonewalled. Okay, genuine question. Have you guys ever been stonewalled like that? Like, have you guys ever encountered a partner or someone like that? Not even a partner, could be a girl, a guy, anyone that just completely stonewalled you and was completely unaware of any emotion or anything like that. How'd you guys deal with it? You walled yourself, photo saying? Because I'm like, it takes a while, but you realize it. Like, you realize that like something's wrong or something's. Oh, Frieden, I love you. Okay, but I love Emilia. Oh no. I can't get rejected if I don't ask anyone. True, Mr. Slothburger. That's technically true. I confessed to them and they were shocked. Oof. Oof, Eidolon, I felt that. I felt that. I got drunk, cried, moaned, friends, and eventually moved on. Yeah, it's a process of healing as well, but I feel like Himel just completely was latched onto this idea. Like, he held onto that dragon tooth for ages waiting for her. And crime control will be dealt with it with the command. My man. My man. Himel out here trying to see her beautiful smile. Himel was trying over here to get her to feel the sense of togetherness, and she's just like, feels bad. Trick Doom, welcome on in. And this just hurts, man. We're in a world of pain already. Oh. But also, she just said something. Current magics can't observe the souls of the dead. Current. Was there past? What was there magicians in the past that could? Is that Frieren, Frieren? What would that do to you? Oh my god, dude! This show can go in so many directions and hurt Frieren or allow them to. Ooh, so magic yet apparently probably another 80 years. Dark thug. The existence of something is better than the existence of nothing. Like, dude, that's such a heartfelt moment that they're like getting into and just exploring that ideology and as they're growing older. Like a lot of people don't really note this, but like a lot this is a lot of reasons the reasons why when you get older you go more into religiosity, no matter what religion you're from, is because there's a fear of death. What comes next? What is the next step from that, right? Honestly, I don't know. I agree with you. This series, like, it's like every little moment, it really does just go through and talk about the human emotion, right? It talks about it in a different way than other isekais, but it's still enough to be able to like draw you in and hit close to home and make your kokoro just bounce a little, heal a little. It's strong stuff, but the dwarf, it looks like his hands, even he's getting old, dude. How is he passing on his legacy? We've seen all the others pass on their legacy in some way, shape, or form. How is the dwarf passing on his legacy? Especially as he gets older, especially as this progresses. Don't tell me he's gonna die. Don't tell me. Frieren the Reaper. I'm hearing this, dude, and I'm just like, fuck you, chat. Making me watch this anime, feeling the fucking feels here. Okay, wait a second. She hasn't been long prehistoric times, but what about her parents? She hasn't been alive since prehistoric times, but what about her parents? A sub for every tier. Bro, I fucking cried like nonstop, dude. 10 months. Oh, what's up? Is her parents alive? True. Oh no. Here's another 6 months. Oh no. I felt Fern in the background. It's like here's another 6 months. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. We need that emote, please, mods. 12 years later. We'll go find it by the tree. We're in a fucking forest, Frieren. What do you mean? We'll find it. It's by a tree. Oh no. Uh, Valentine Ed, I feel weird. There's no Moscow Tensei today. What do I do? You watch Frieren with us and you enjoy it, man. Now, welcome on Ed, Valentine. Appreciate you, brother. Sour grapes. This is episode 4. Sour grapes. Hey, wait, that's right. He can't lift an axe yet. He can lift a fucking boulder. What an amazing way to incorporate it. Like, what an amazing way to incorporate like the magic that she's been studying and a callback even. And like showcasing that like, hey, it is important. She got to finally like show it off and do it for him. Like, that's some beautiful stuff, dude. and I think this is why this show is like so connect worthy, because it goes back and it touches on instances like this, right? It's not just gonna leave you high and dry, you know, like it's actually gonna go ahead and like give you a payoff for what's been happening. How many like what's the like how many novels are there for Frieren? Like how many volumes are there for Frieren? Like light novel wise. An old adventuring party. She does. He's like one of the strongest ever. So yeah, he's gonna be powerful. It's a manga, no light novel. It's still ongoing. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Still ongoing. It's a manga. 100 chapters. I don't remember. 114. Oof. Whoa! I thought that this was a light novel by the way that it's like it's done. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. No, we're gonna wait week by week. Like I don't know what else to say. Is we will literally be watching this anime week by week on Friday because it's so fucking good. Like just touching on the semblances of like friendships and like, whatnot and growing old. Oof. The truest of bros. The truest of bros. There, we're sure that you had regrets. We are sure that you had regrets. And so we want you to have life without them. Oh, dude, dude. Oh, oh, it wasn't just a mage. Wouldn't okay? Wouldn't Fren, you know, Fern, be not Frieren? Wouldn't Fern quite literally be like the strongest human magician so far, or something like that? Like considering that she's traveling with Frieren, right? And considering how strong she is as an elf, you don't know. After a thousand years. Wait, wait. And Flame was your master. Flame was your master. Wait a minute. Ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ooh, um, ah, ah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now do you understand why her sense of time is different? 10 years must have been like a year for this. I was. I'm not gonna say I'm a fucking wizard though. 10 years must have been like a year, a second for her or something. It is. Also, Mommy Flame, please step on me. But it is. It is. Look, guys, I'm not a wizard. This comes from like the previous episodes and the way that they're. Wow. 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 All the dots connected about him getting down bad by the end of the episode. What can I say? What can I say? Oh, 1,000 years. What does life even mean by then? 1,000 years. Fuck, dude. So wait, she looked like she was half her age at 1,000 years. Wouldn't she be 2,000 years old, roughly around there? Wouldn't she be at least like 2,000 years old, considering that she looked like half her age currently at 1,000 years? Best student, I know, I know. Elf aging is weird. You're literally watching a civilization rise and fall. Yeah. The intro of the first episode. The intro of the first episode. I have fucking goosebumps right now, man. Like how well planned this is, and this is the first episode. Like in terms of like the 4 episodes that are shown, like broken up everywhere else, this was still a part of the first episode. Wow, they've told a better fucking story in 1 episode. 90 minutes. In 90 minutes, they told a better story than most shows do. They told a better story than most isekais do in all 2 fucking seasons in 1 season, man. Wow. Gotta have an atomic real hard to beat this. I'm looking at this. Well, it's a different feel, dude. It's a different feel. And that's why I'm looking at this and I'm like, oof, oof. Wait. The title makes sense now. Frieren, the journey beyond. Wait. Beyond Journey's End. The title makes sense now. Ah, 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 ah. Frieren at the funeral. The title makes sense. Beyond Journey's End. Ah. That's so good. That is so good. And Speak with Himmel? That they decided the title for Ian instead of Frieren at the funeral. That's even sadder. That's even sadder, man. Is it I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna say it. Some random thought came in my head. Intrusive thoughts. Um, when it comes to this, it's fucking one of the biggest things I guess that comes to question is the end really the end? Like, is the end really the end here? Like, if you were to go there and say that you took that step beyond and you meet all of your friends and everything there, couldn't that be an alluring trap as well? Where, yes, you get to see everyone and you might want to stay there, and now you have to say goodbye one last time. Or you have to go ahead and say, hey, this is it. Like, I have to leave, because being in a place where everyone else is, that might sound wonderful and great and all of these things, but wouldn't that also stop you from experiencing what life you may have left? The end is just the editor forcing a deadline. It could be, unless you're studio mop, like you're Mappa right now, and you're struggling with all that Jujutsu Kaisen stuff. I understand now that the circumstances. Oh man, I understand now. Oh, oh, him all even asking alone kind of peeking at the interest and curiosity as if she wanted someone to travel with her, and she still said no. Oh, and she like moved it along for him, even unknowingly. That's such a oh man. Oh, he got to see her growth, bro. He literally got to see her growth. Oh, dude, I'm over here like it's kind of like those aspects where your parents get to see you, like you're a part of your parent, or your parents have known you since you were born, but you have not known your parents since they were born. They've been able to see you, grow and fester into the individual that you are today, or your caregivers. It doesn't have to be your parents, but your caregivers or whatever. That's oof. She made a lot of progress in the last 80 years. That's a lot of progress to make for someone. It's amazing how 1/100th had a greater impact on Frieren than the 1,000 years beforehand, right? Even learning with the greatest magician out there, shit, it feels as though this 10 years or however many years she spent with that, there's no good festering. Start, bro. Oh my god. I thought we've gone through this journey. We were seeing just this progression, but hearing like we're literally about to start this actual goal. We have an actual goal, and we're about to start this 10-year journey again, right? Maybe they can get there quicker. Maybe they can do whatever. Oh, oh, oh. This is just a prologue, man. No. No. Are you all right? No, I'm not. It's Jover. It's Jover. Oh, what a 10-year journey. Can you hear me? No, no. Wee woo. It's not okay, dude. Wee woo, we're not okay, dude. Oh my god. So you're telling me that this episode, like all 4 episodes, is literally the prologue of what's to come. I feel like I've gone to battle I feel like, you know, because it's been setting it up and there's a lot of interesting themes to talk about during this first episode of 4 chapters, I guess. We, I don't know, we're seeing this progression. We're seeing this progression of these characters, of their dynamics, of everything, you know. My my big question through this though is for him, for the dwarf guy. I'm surprised that he didn't have another legacy, another, like, you know, another apprentice or a student or someone under him as well, right? Where he was trying to train as well, pass on as well, pass on that legacy, considering that it's pretty standard for people to go ahead and do that. These 4 episodes were actually shown as one episode during a cinema screening last week. So this is just the prologue. That is amazing, dude. That's wow. Wow. I am blown away. I am blown away that this prologue has got us to like over 9 hours of conversation and deep analysis and thought and whatnot. Like, they sure put the pro and prologue. They really did. They really did, and I think they did a fantastic job at it. I think I'm blown away at the themes that this show has managed to tackle, at the power dynamics and the social dynamics and so on and so forth. Like, amazing, amazing fucking shit. We're not done yet. We also have FSP joining us in a little bit, so I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away, guys. Let's listen to the ending and then we'll conceptualize my thoughts and everything. And we'll have SP come on for a bit. And then I'm going to have to take off because I do have homework and stuff I need to finish up. So let's go ahead and conceptualize this. Let's listen to the ending, guys. Let's sad jam. Let's sad. And that is actually the question that I have. What is home for Frieren? Or who is home for Frieren? Beautiful stuff, dude. Oh my god. I always get teary eyed like near the end here. Why haven't you defeated the dragon? What the fuck? Phantoms of the Dead. Phantom Pain. Metal Gear? Metal Gear? Hey, hey. Holy bananas, ladies and gentlemen. What a fucking fantastic episode. I am mind blown. I am legitimately fucking mind blown at all of this wonderfulness, all of this goodness that we just experienced. Like, wow. Wow. I, I don't know how else to put it. I don't know how else to put it. That, like, time and time again, this has just been 4 episodes have gotten us to feel 1 episode, technically 4 chapters have gotten us to feel this way and have gotten us to legitimately process our feelings like this. A dragon god, Orsted. Are we about to see Orsted come back in here? Orsted? I'm mind blown, man. I am, yeah, yeah. Really, really good show. Really, really interesting concept. Hold on. Before I bring SB on, if he's out there, let's go ahead and showcase this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the special ending. This is from where? This is from where? Where does this come from? Is this like the TV ending? Like what? I just sent you that. Whoa. I wonder what her split was really from, though. Oh. Oh. Preciousness. You want me to cry again, bro? Oh. Her making a connection finally. Oh my god, dude. And they're both sharing the briefcase. And Frieren, like it or hate it, that's your daughter now, brother. That's your daughter now. This is your form of connection together. The years and how they've passed and everything. Like, wow. But Flame isn't her mother, yeah? Like, Flame is just a teacher. Oh, this hurt. This hurt. Fren is a mom. I love how their mother-daughter dynamic sometimes flips. Right. But it's so good. This is something I would have loved to have seen at the end there. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. This is gorgeous. This is just a gorgeous little aspect there, dude. There we go. You want to talk about feels?
There's some heavy feels in it. Yeah, I sent that video to you in the DMs. That was the same video.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Man, I didn't think I'd get through all 3 episodes tonight, but I'm kind of glad I did because that's a lot to process.
It is, and it's like a complete package, all 4 episodes as well.
Wait, the spy cam? Oh, for you. But that's what everyone saw, right? It was like 90 minutes of all of this thing compiled together, correct?
Yeah. It's on the Japanese TV platform. It's basically it's 2 hours because it's got ads and all that kind of stuff in it. But for some reason, Crunchyroll split it into 4 episodes, which makes sense for fans that just want to watch it in chunks. But they got rid of that special ending because at the end of episode 1 to, I think, 1 and 2, they've got that ending, and then the final one, I'm just trying to remember because it's 4 episodes, so they've only got, I think, 3 opportunities to play that extra opening, and then the final episode is where they play the proper ending. But for some reason Crunchyroll cut them out, which was kind of sad because it's really nice. I like the sort of the hand drawing kind of motions to it. It just feels really, I don't know, it's something about the art that feels very homey. It's like very traditional, like old school. It's very heartwarming.
Well, I was gonna say, whenever it's hand-drawn, you can kind of feel the passion behind it. Like it feels homey. You're right. But wow. Okay, since I've gone through all the episodes now we can chat a little bit more about that. What the fuck, dude? She's over 1,000 years old. What?
That's what I meant about the there's that 4th episode where that's the kind of the callback to her master and the kind of the subtle reference about how old she is, and she kind of acts as if she's not really that old, but it's just kind of like, you're a bit older than I think people realize. But when you were on that scene, I actually wrote down one word as a note: boring. And it's not an insult to the anime, but the note boring is in the sense of how boring would your life be if you lived for over 1,000 years,
Right.
you've done pretty much everything in your entire life. You've been to every place. You've met every type of person. It's like playing the same video game or watching the same movie a million times. To her, imagine how mundane and boring her life would be. And
Right.
especially if you're not getting attached to people because they just age and end up passing away. So to me, I was just kind of like, man, I can see why she's so disattached from emotions, because if she gets too connected, she's just going to watch them wither and die. And so because she can't be connected to people, you just be kind of bored.
My question to you is this, because you're right, and I guess this is where my fear is heading towards. She's going to heaven, right? Like that's the end goal here. Do you think if given the choice to stay in heaven, end her life, for example, in this mortal world, she would choose it if she starts to figure out more about her emotions and stuff like this?
I think there's a lot of things that she's going to learn in this journey. And I think it's not meant to be a super like tearjerker, but more of a journey of self discovery and just her making new friends and learning to make proper, meaningful connections and having that sense of fulfillment. Because I think that is an important part of life, is fulfillment in itself. And I feel like the only real fulfillment she is getting is things like just finding like niche magic spells and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of like feeling the scratch at the back of her head or the back of her wherever. And so she isn't getting the proper fulfillment that she wants, like companionship. And whether that's love or not, I do wonder that if she will find proper love. But I definitely do think she will at some point discover that Himel, however you pronounce his name, did in fact have feelings for her. And that's what I meant about the previous episode with the skirt flipping, where he's like, oh, I was meant to be able to look under there. I kind of get the feeling that he did have some lingering feelings, but he kind of hid them down purely for the fact that he knew that she just didn't really feel anything back.
Right.
Which is why I think sometimes he refers to her as being kind of cold and cruel, because I think deep down inside he wanted to confess, but he just knew that it was going to be a one-sided love and there was no point throwing that into the situation and making it awkward. So I wonder how it's going to be discovered, because I feel like that's something that will be.
Right. Well, I mean, even taking it a bit further, the memories, the core memories that keep being shown in the opening, where both of them sitting together, the ring, so on and so forth. I feel like even if he gave her a ring, she'd just be like, okay, I don't know what this is for, but all right, thanks. Like, even if he were to have confessed his love or done anything, for her, it's like, would she have taken that seriously or even known about it at all?
Yeah, I do wonder that, because I did notice that ring in the opening song, and I did think to myself, that ring maybe was a symbol of like companionship, and maybe that he wanted something more meaningful as a relationship, and it just was something that never went anywhere. I do wonder if she'll end up getting the ring somehow, and then she'll end up keeping it as like a safekeeping, as a remembering of the feelings that he had for her, and she'll kind of like keep it close, and she will end up having deep, not love in the sense of wanting to be like on a marriage kind of thing, but deep love for her companions and friendships, something a lot more binding that she ends up building after their passing, realizing that they're now gone and she kind of misses them but doesn't want to forget them as well.
See, but I guess something worth highlighting is this was literally 1/100th of her life. 10 years. Like, damn. Or at least 1/100th of like her actually roaming around or whatever, right? Because she was with Flame 1,000 years ago. So literally 1/100th of that time spent before or after Flame. Or so that's wild to even think about, because that's literally like less than a year in human lifespan if we were to take like condense that down into our how we would perceive time. That's rough.
It is. And I can see why she wouldn't have any attachments if she knows they're just going to pass away, and especially if it's so fleeting to her. And yeah, Chad did point out that she does have the ring. So yeah, I think that's something that will be called back on. Maybe she'll look at it and kind of remember. But that's what I mean. I I would hate to live for that long and have no one else being able to live for that long as well, because it would just be so lonely as well. Especially now that she's got this new kind of apprentice or mother that she's got. And imagine watching them grow old. I mean, it'd be nice to watch them grow old, find love, and, you know, foster that and nurture it. But at the same time, it would also be very sad as well, watching one generation after the next grow old and pass on, and then you having to watch that and not be truly with them on that journey. You're kind of just a bystander watching it. And I did wonder if that's what some of the symbolism was in the opening song, where she's in the window and she's looking out the window and she's watching, clearly another character that's going to be introduced later on, the boy and her.
Right.
And I wonder if that's a symbolism of her watching others pass by, because at the end of the day, she's fixed in a certain point. She can't age, her appearance doesn't change, so she isn't part of the journey with those with her. She's just kind of a bystander watching them go on their journey while she's kind of just watching by. I wonder if that was what was meant in the symbolism of the opening song, which proves to me that the opening song quite fit nicely.
Right. I've seen a lot of people hate on the opening song, like quite a lot. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like it. It kind of grew on me, you know. And also, yeah, the aspect of being left behind appears in the opening as well, where her old group leaves her behind, right? Because they all die and pass away, and yet she's ahead of the kids, or the you know, the two kids like behind her as well. So it's interesting to show like she's sort of placed in that middle spot where people are just going to keep growing older and older, and she's just there. But I like life. I think life gets meaning because we have a finality to it, right? Because we know we're gonna, like, our life is gonna pass on. We have to find a way to pass on our legacy, so on and so forth. So if you had to live 2,000 years, how do you find meaning?
I think that's the challenge. But I also think it's hard for us to kind of find meaning in it because of the fact that we don't live for that long, so we don't have a concept of what we would find meaning. But I feel like, hypothetically, if life expectancy was to get much longer and we were able to live even to 200 or so years old, I think that's going to be a big change of how we see the world, because we will have to find new meaning and new long-term goals, because I think that's something that even we're still struggling with, even with the life expectancy that we have. And I mean, you look back to the medieval times, most people didn't live that long to begin with. It was like, by the time you hit 20 or 30, you generally died by a disease. Now most people live quite long into their 80s, maybe even 90s, if you're really lucky. And a lot of people in those ages are finding new meaning in self-discovery and passing that knowledge on. It's hard to answer that question for her perspective, because I think we're still, even to this day, ourselves as humans, we're still discovering what meaning is in that beyond a certain point. But for her, that'd be a whole different kettle of fish, because it goes from like 100 to 200 years to just thousands, and that'd be like, what would you do in that span? That's why I wrote down the note in brackets, boring. I'm like, your life would be so tedious. Every day would just be like Groundhog Day. It'd be like, nothing changes really in the grand scheme of things. It'd be like watching ants just play around in the dirt, and you're just sitting there watching them going, do something interesting, please.
Wasn't there a thought experiment of that or something? I don't know. I don't know if there was. But what I do know is, like, even when it comes to it's like, I guess, relationships or whatnot, it's interesting to note that 1,000 years, 10 years meant more to her than, you know, the 1,000+ years that she's lived. So I guess through that comes in the next line of questioning, which is, if she's raising up this kid, right, and the boy that we see in the opening, say that they come along with it, is she, like, is this their next grand journey, and what is she going to do differently with this, like, party than she did with the past?
That is the interesting question, because I feel like there's a bit of a mother-daughter relationship between the two of them, and I do feel like it flips both ways. I feel like they're both mother and daughter to each other, so I feel like they complement each other. but with the new boy also being in the party, I do wonder if there'll be a bit of a romance between the orphan girl and the boy, and maybe this is how Frieren discovers about love itself is through observation through them, and then she understands what love is, and that's the realization of what the hero felt for her. I wonder if that's going to be something that will be explored. More like sisters. Yeah, that is actually a good way to put it. They're more like sisters. They both complement each other. They help each other when they're down. And particularly, I feel like the orphan girl's a bit more of the older sister.
Yeah. But honestly, yeah, I think through the power of observation, more than likely, if we're being honest, that's how she's gonna start discovering like what love is and how it's more than just like, oh, someone says they love you, but like through actions, through even like remembering about your partner, gift giving, so on and so forth. Interesting concepts.
It's why I gave it the comparison of because this triggered people online. I gave it the similarities of Mushoku Tensei and Violent Evergarden. Mushoku Tensei because of the level of depth, world building, thought provoking, just character growth in the sense of digging deep into a mind of mistakes, feeling of regret, wanting to fix past mistakes, and then also with Violent Evergarden that sense of discovering love. The Violent Evergarden is more of a theory because I don't know if they will dig into the love theory, but I think they will dig into the idea of what is love, right, and her doing her own self-discovery of what is love and then realizing what the hero felt for her.
Right.
And I think there'll also be some more backstory as that story goes on, as their adventures go on, so that she'll kind of reminisce on some of those memories. And as she's going through those memories again, that's the realization when she's like, oh, he was in love with me.
Huge. Also, let's talk about this because now that you've touched on it, let's talk about all the random hate that is coming for her still on social media, Twitter, or X, for people that are like hyping up Frieren, or not just hyping up Frieren, but talking about Frieren, and like for example, Chibi, right, and yourself, because I've seen yourself. Yeah. I've seen yourself post like like that thought, and then all of a sudden people just bombarding it. So, how's that like? What's been going on? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I think how Chibi's dealing with it and how I'm dealing with it are completely different. I think Chibi's not dealing with it as well. He's really struggling. I DM'd him yesterday, just checking up on him, and yeah, he's getting a lot of hate. And I mean, it's not like hate in the normal sense of people just saying you're an idiot. No, it's vicious. It even leaked into even some of my video comments. People were just like bashing him, and I'm like, this video has nothing to do with Chibi. Why are you talking about him in my video?
Right.
But for me, I'm an asshole. I was leaning into it.
Oh no.
I was like, if you're going to give me engagement, I might as well farm the living hell out of you. So I took the ideas of what they were trying to attack me by and then kind of took it and then built another tweet on it. And I was just compounding their hatred. And I was just like, okay, keep on coming. I've dealt with this before. I can deal with it. So I was having more fun with it than Chibi was, but Chibi's was a lot more vicious. So like mine was just calling me an idiot and saying I didn't know what I was talking about and saying you shouldn't compare Mushoku Tensei because you're a P word. And I was just like,
wow.
Okay, bro. But for Chibi was like getting death threats, some pretty provocative ones, but I wouldn't say mine was as harsh, but maybe other people will argue the other way, but it didn't bother me. So I did make a video titled The Problem with Hype, which isn't what it sounds like, because one of the problems that people were having with Chibi was saying that he was hyping up the series too much. But the way I argued it was that if you are taking someone's hype as confirmation that the anime has to be good based on your tastes, then you're evaluating hype in the wrong way. Hype is simply just excitement from a person's perspective. At the end of the day, when you see something you really like, what are you going to be? You're going to be excited. You're going to talk about it and you're going to hype it.
Right.
And so hype itself is not the problem. It's how you perceive hype that I think is the problem with the anime community, which is why people are attacking Chibi for the wrong reason. They're attacking him because they're idiots. And I'm just going to say it because people are seeing his hype and going, well, you're hyping it. And if it's not to what I like, then you're lying. And it's like, well, no, that's not a lie. That's his opinion. his hype is an opinion in his excitement. And I
Right.
think that's the problem, because people go, oh, well, if it sells well, then it has to be good. But now people are saying, well, just because it sells well doesn't mean it's good. And it's like, no, what you should be saying is just because it sells well doesn't mean you'll also enjoy it. And that's the problem. People are evaluating hype and success as automatic, meaning that everyone's going to love it. Which is why then I went through the counter argument. If you see someone hype something and it gives you curiosity, do some research. Read a synopsis, watch the trailer, read the first chapter, read a couple of pages of the light novel. If it's a manga, read a couple of chapters. If it's light novel, read a couple of pages. Do a little bit of research if you are interested in the series. Don't just look at hype and go, that must be good, that must be made for me, because not everything's going to be made for you. And I think with this series, this is a slow burner. And a lot of people love that. They love deep characters, deep world, emotion-enriched story. And so people are hyping it up because they feel like it's an enriched, beautiful, elegant, simple, but yet beautiful story. But not everyone's going to like that. Some people like high action, blockbuster, blow stuff up. As
Yep.
Ed said it in one of his at this part of the stream, you know, oh, I'm going to get my breath on and blow some stuff up and defeat the Demon Lord. Some people like that. Some people like mechas. Some people like food animes. Not everyone's the same. And blaming Chibi for his excitement, that's a you problem, not a him problem.
I find people that do that kind of weird, because it's like, I'm sorry, can I not be excited about a series? Like, does my opinion have to line up with yours 100%? No. I even say that, like, hey, even like some of the way that I interpret some things, it's gonna be wrong. That's okay. We're not gonna have the same views on things. That's a-okay. No one's gonna think exactly the same. But when people come out for him with this much hate, with this much vitriol, it's saddening. And for me, it kind of makes me sad to see that, because you can tell that, like, in some of his posts, he's been struggling a little bit, like, mental health wise. Like, you can tell that it's been hard on him. And I'm like, damn, like, for the community to come at you like that, and the death threats and everything that comes through with it, like, I don't know. I think this is why people are also scared to come into the community, into the anime community, and do something, and uh, step outside of just being like or an emoji reactor, or just like someone that relays the same news over and over and over again, because of this amount of hate, because of the people that come along with it.
I think that's also why there's such a disconnect between content creators and the community. And I think in part of it is because of the community. I mean, I've seen it with different other parts of the anime community, like different specific splinter groups, like say like the ReZero community or the Overlord community or the Slime community. They're very quick to attack content creators, but then they sit there and get upset and say, well, why don't content creators interact with the community more? Well, maybe if the community wasn't so vicious and toxic, people might be a little bit more open to communicating with the community. And that, I think, is where it's leading to that kind of wall between content creators and consumers. And I think it's hard for consumers to understand the content creators' perspective, because once you jump over that fence and you become a content creator, you learn very, very, very quickly just how dirty and toxic it can get. I mean, when I was a consumer and I was watching Chibi's content and I wasn't a YouTuber, I was similar. I was very critical. Sometimes would get narky, be like, oh. But then once you become a content creator, you realize that things aren't as clear and cut and dry. There's this issue of people will mock you if your videos don't do well, but then if your videos do well, they'll then accuse you of clickbaiting. And it's like, what do you want from me? Do you want me to fail or succeed? Like, make up your mind. And I think that's the big issue that just, I think, has grown and festered in the anime community, is this weird tribalism.
Yeah. And again, that's my fear, is that tribalism is going to continue to grow and get out of hand, and then we're just left with a lot of, like, no one's able to go and express anything because that tribalism gets a little out of control. But through that, I guess coming back in and touching base with this show, is, what was your favorite episode or your favorite chapter that we saw?
I really liked the village part, where she went into the village and she saw the boy that flipped her skirt, but it was also not just because it was funny with the hero getting worked up, but when she was talking to the demon and she was kind of mentioning about how, oh, well, we've learnt defensive spells, we've spent time learning of a way to deal with you. It was kind of that moment of, you're a past moment in history. Yes, I'm, freeing you for this short moment, but this is your last moments. You're a passage of time. And it just kind of demonstrated to me how time can be elegant, beautiful, but also very cruel and calculated, in that as time goes on, things do just become a distant memory, and they do slowly wither and fade away as time goes on. Less and less people will remember you, and you'll become less relevant as time goes on. I mean, sure, there are some heroes like, Alexander the Great or Genghis Khan, etc., or Joan of Arc. But as time goes on, there are new heroes, there are new people that have, stood on great pinnacles, and they've got to share this spotlight. And as the spotlight has been shared, you'll become less important in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure Alexander the Great was studied much more intensely many years ago, but now is becoming less and less of a taught thing. And I think that's kind of one of the lessons in that episode. And I thought it was just really interesting because it made me think quite a lot. And especially that last part when she was at the tree, and that concept of like, life itself could be very boring if you just lived for thousands of years, because everything just is fleeting, but also very repetitive. It's just like, imagine every day is just the same. You live and you live and you live. The experiences don't change too much, because when you're a child and you go into a teen, an adult, and then an older person, many things do change. You've got new challenges that you've got to overcome. And as much as some of those challenges can be annoying, they do add a sense of new learning experiences.
Right. No, and I agree with you on that. I feel like seeing I guess the relic, if we're gonna be honest, of, oh, when he used the spell back in the day, nothing could stop it. It was something we had to be wary of. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we can go ahead and just take it out like nothing. It's a piece. And if we look at it, and this is sort of what I was highlighting, is like, if we were to use weapons of today versus weapons of World War II, it's quite a stark difference. We have drones now. We have the ability to use so many different like technological weapons to be able to go ahead and do certain things that, like, I guess a country or something with the technology of World War II versus the technology that we have today, it would just be a slaughter fest. Like, it would not be an easy thing to look at. But time is cruel. Time can be wonderful. Time can teach us a lot of things. But time is cruel if you let it be. And I do wonder, and for me, my favorite episode was like literally the first little chapter bit where we got to see them looking at the stars. Dude, that was heartbreaking. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm still thinking about it. That got to me good. But seeing the character growth and seeing their attachment, how close they're getting between like student or sisters, like, master teacher, her and her old friends, and saying goodbye and all of these things. What a way to start a prologue. Wow.
It is really good, and that's why I'm really happy we're seeing more of that, as I call it, the Oshinoko effect, where you're getting those couple of episodes, and it's like that sort of first introduction, and it gives you a good meaty bite size, because I think that's what people need. They need to be able to watch a couple of episodes, get an idea of what the series is about, and then go from there. And then if you like it, you like it. You don't, then you can choose from that point onwards as well. Or you can read, like I said, the synopsis or a couple of pages. But I think this is also a good way of doing things as well. And it really gets you quite invested in the characters, but I'm also interested to see how they introduce new characters as well, because I feel like these two characters are just the beginning, because even with the opening song, you had the elf that looks quite devilish with her feet sitting on the chair and everything, and she just looked quite evil and malicious. And then you also had the guy with the sword that was lunging. There's a couple of other characters that clearly haven't been introduced yet, so there's going to be clearly some interest. And I mean, it's 6 months double core. There's going to be some crazy amount of stuff going on, or development, should I say. So
Right.
Very, very curious to see where they go from it.
Well, that's sort of what I'm thinking is 6 months.
That's gonna take us directly to Moshiko Tensei. Also, fuck you. The rat came back. Fuck you. when we were watching it, it's like, oh yeah, the rats, the what is it, like the nut rats or seed rats? And I was just like, wow, SP coming back with the rat theory. Chaos. I only saw the first 3 episodes, but the world building and character development were so well done. Yeah, it was. It's really, really well done. I wonder if you guys did you guys cheer up chat, like, wow, tear up chat in any of that? I guess my biggest thing through this is I feel like we're in a journey for feels only if you allow yourself the opportunity to empathize with the characters and draw from your experiences. I've seen too many people be like, nah, I can't cry at shows like this. I can't do whatever. It's like, oh, this unrealistic. And it's like, what, the concepts of death? The concepts of legacy? Like, we're all gonna die someday. You know, like that's not a universal experience. What? I don't know if you've seen that, but I've seen that. I got a DM about it, and I was like, yo, that's a weird champ move.
I do find that kind of weird that people are kind of like, you can't get emotional with these kinds of series because they are in like some magical fantasy world, but at the end of the day, they are characters. They clearly are going through experiences. Sure, they're not real, but they're written by humans, so they've got emotions built into them. They're feeling stuff. I mean, I don't think I was going to cry, but I definitely really felt a lot of sympathy for the characters, and particularly her and her realization of the passing of those close to her, and the fact that, yeah, she can't get them back now. So those moments that she's squandered are gone for good. So I agree that the concept of dying should be something that people should feel sad about. And it does make me wonder that people have become so emotionless to the concept of death when it comes to others that it just kind of concerns me that this is why people go around start wishing harm on others or death on others, because the concept of death just no longer really computes with them.
Right.
It does concern me that people have become very emotionless to human compassion. So,
I mean, empathy, like people genuinely empathizing is kind of a rarity, which is kind of sad to say because you would think that empathy would be a priority for most people. But even online, some of the comments and stuff that like get thrown our way, whether it's death threats, whether it's you're better off like not living, or to comments like that, it's like, okay, like, would you really say that to a person if they were face to face? And if you would, where's your empathy or compassion in that regard? Like, what is going on where people feel more confident when they're hiding behind the screen and they're typing all these like horrible things? And it's, I don't know. I mean, we can highlight it by how people were making fun of Rudy when he was about to, take himself out of this world. And it's sad. It's sad to see.
yeah, that was something that it kind of threw me back, because I kind of thought people would kind of be universally kind of like sad and being like, oh my God, he's going to take his life. He's clearly, depressed. But seeing some people almost like egg it on, I was kind of like, that's kind of vicious. Even if you don't like Rudy as a character, sure, you might think he's creepy or a little bit, go too far into one direction. But to sit there and cheer on someone's death is just, that to me is a line that I would never go to. And I think that's why I get into some arguments with people online, because even if I don't like someone's opinion, I don't want to wish harm on them. And I see that a lot. And it's not just fictional characters, it's content creators and also just people in general. Like, certain person that runs a certain app that they've renamed to a certain letter, I see a lot of people saying, oh, I hope they die. And I'm just like, you don't have to like the person, but wishing horrible things on someone is a line that really no one should be going down. And I think that's just, for me, it's a fundamentally flawed mindset and emotion. I get very repulsed by that idea of hoping harm happens to someone.
Hold on, I hear my dog singing the song of its people. Okay, well, it's good. he gets excited whenever there's an ambulance or anything. But yeah, no, like people actually wishing death on others and all of these things have like, it's scary how common of an occurrence it is that when like content creators come out and even say like, we've had this, like everyone else, it's like, oh yeah, we've had a similar experience. Like, if you like, it's it's wild. It's insane to think about. But I think like overall, if people take the time to genuinely empathize more, or even try and relate to others, like where they're coming from, what they can draw from their experiences to relate to it, so on and so forth. Building a more empathetic world is where we should be trying to head to. A world where we're understanding one another a little bit more, not understanding each other 100%, but at least, hey, you know what? Dude, I can't even imagine the amount of pain that you're going through, and I'm here for you if you need it. Goes a lot further than die, 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 die. Like all that negativity, all that toxicity. I don't know. I'm kind of scared to see where we're heading in general as like a, say anime community or whatnot.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people treat it as like, oh, well, it's just words. It's not going to hurt you. But it's like, if you log on every day and you're making, say, like a video on a topic, and every time you make a tweet or you make a comment or you make a video, and every time you do it, someone's just wishing death, nitpicking at every little thing you say, lying about what you say, calling you all kinds of names, that does get very, very, very taxing over time. And not everyone has as thick a skin. And I think for Chibi, he's had very thick skin. I mean, he's been dealing with it for years. But I think there are just limits to what people can put up with. And it's like, criticize the ideas. Don't turn into just baseless, pure hatred and jealousy and animosity and pettiness. It's just such a ugly emotion. I know it's built into us and I know we're flawed, but I just wish people would try and do better, especially when these same people try and get all high and mighty as well and act as if they're like perfect. And then when someone criticizes them, they then go, well, it's just a joke, bro, chill. It's like, clearly it's not. It's not. You're being serious, but the moment they get criticism, they then just reflex to it's just a joke. It's like, no, do better.
Is Chibi going to have a guest spot eventually? He'll join us eventually. You know,
He probably will.
That's all we can say for now, but he probably will. That's all we can say. That's as far as we're gonna go with that. We're like lip sealed everything. But no, one big thing I think to touch on, and one big aspect to highlight is when we're going through shows like this, and when I think this is what sort of why we see this tribalistic effects, because in a way people become pretty selfish about the experience or the shows that they're watching, i.e. I like for these characters, I'm not going to be vulnerable. I'm not going to relate to them. I don't even want to go ahead and empathize. Therefore, this show is bad. Like, I've seen people do it with Moshiko Tensei. I've seen people do it with Toshinoko. I've seen people do it with Frieren, you know, so on and so forth, where it's like, I don't want to relate to this. I don't want to even touch about it. I don't want to go into concepts of death, concepts of legacy, of family, whatever. It's a bad show. It's characters are ugly. They'll pinpoint everything. But yet they're like, oh my God, I'm just going to like Kiss Exis, the best show possible, because so on and so forth, right? Like people will go ahead and gravitate towards like specific safe shows that might speak to them on one level, but if some other shows are a little bit more in depth or make them uncomfortable because it's something that might trigger them or something that might they don't want to tackle, all of a sudden that's a bad show. And I've seen that weird divide happen over and over again with ReZero, Moshiko Tensei, any deep anime out there that really tackles on these themes. And I don't know, it makes me really curious about it.
I think it's a really annoying thing for me, because the fact that I watch a lot of power fantasies and isekais, one of the biggest complaints that I see from content creators and the community is isekais and power fantasies feel all the same. They're all copy-paste, self-inserts, where Stud Muffin gets reincarnated, he's an office 9-to-5 job, and his entire past life is ignored. He gets transported and he forces his culture onto people, gets 6 wives, and that's the story. He's just pristine perfect. And people get annoyed at those stories. And then Mushoku Tensei, Shield Hero, Eminence in the Shadow, Frieren, all of these other shows that don't have picture-perfect main protagonists, that have flaws, that have human elements to them, that have past traumas. And then suddenly people come out and say, oh no, we should censor this, we should remove that, or this is a topic that shouldn't be talked about. Why? Does it make you feel uncomfortable? Like, for example, when Goblin Slayer came out, and it had rape in it. And people go, it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like it. Good. It
Yeah.
should make you feel uncomfortable. Congratulations. That's the emotion it's trying to portray. If you feel uncomfortable, you're on the right track. Just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it shouldn't be in the anime or it shouldn't be in a show. Because people say, oh, but it teaches people. What does it teach them? That it's wrong. That's what we should be teaching people, that these things in these mediums are wrong. They shouldn't be removed. They should be used as an education method to teach people what is right and wrong, not censor it out so that people don't understand, hey, these things are something that happen, they're horrible, and you should feel repulsed by them. But because we're removing so much of what makes us human and learning experiences from these things, suddenly people aren't learning these experiences and then are becoming disorganized and dysfunctional. I mean, when I was in high school and primary school, one of the movies that was constantly brought up was it's a movie about a court case where it's a clear cut and dry, like, I'm not sure if people remember the name of it, but you might know what the movie is. It's basically a court case where a bunch of people go into a room and a boy has been accused of murder, and everyone in the room except one guy says he's guilty. And they all said guilty because they all wanted to just get out of the room because they were just like, I've got things to do. I'm sick of this. Just call him guilty. He clearly did it. And one guy sat there and said, no. And then they sat there for hours, him debating one person after another, saying, why do you think he's guilty? Explain to me why. Not just because you want to get out of the room. Explain to me why. And that movie itself may make people feel uncomfortable, but it's a teaching lesson that you shouldn't let blind emotions control people. 12 Angry Men. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It was a show that was constantly brought up in high school because it taught people a life lesson. Anime can do the same. Just because it's cartoony graphics and funny voices doesn't mean that you cannot gain valuable life lessons from it. Sure, there are some shows that aren't going to teach you life lessons, like Kiss X6, maybe High School DxD. I mean, the importance of Akuno's bosoms might be a very valuable life lesson, but there are some shows that are life lessons, I feel like, and some that not so much. And I think censoring them is stupid.
Oh, absolutely. Blade, I disagree with you. Rent a Girlfriend, as much trash as it is, teaches you about the archetypes of dating certain people. You have La Toxica, the toxic one, the one that you have to go, the one that's all over you, but you ain't into them, right? The extremely shy one, the one that you have to maybe overpay and overshare information with. 4 archetypes right there, man. Doesn't mean that it's healthy. Doesn't mean that it's healthy, you know, but I'm just saying. Yeah, Mami-chan. Oh man, I need a Mami-chan. Someone get me a Mami-chan. I need a fucking. But no, I agree with you.
I'm gonna say the most controversial opinion. Mommy did nothing wrong. I'm dying with that on my gravestone.
Mommy did nothing wrong. Welcome to. She did nothing wrong. But my thing is,
I see so many people yell at that. They're like, "Oh, she's such a bee," and I'm like, she dumped him because he was an asshole. He was useless. He was lazy. He only became functional when he got dumped, and then suddenly fell in love with another girl. It's like, I don't blame her. She should have kicked him to the curb. But I have to rant about that because I've read the manga for it, and I'm just like,
oof. Friend says there's a VTuber girl that he just calls Chaos. Do I watch it? I don't know what anime that is. Is that a part of Rent a Girlfriend? Well, I mean, here's the thing. You have a lot of people out there that also all they watch is like Karam Trash or whatnot. Like, what is that show? Yosuga no Sora? Is that the name of it? The one, there's one that's like infamous about chat would know, but like I see all the dots pop up, but like people will defend some random ecchi kaije, right? The one with the butt one that they're fighting off of a lever or whatnot. Like people will literally defend the weirdest animes out there and give them like this big elevated platform. And if you come for that like topic and you're like, you know what, this show has a little bit more topics to go ahead and talk about, so on and so forth, they're like, you're wrong. And because you're wrong, we're going to come after you with all of our little Keijo. There we go. Everything.
Yeah, it's a butt and boob anime. That's all I gotta say. I mean, it's good entertainment. Something I might find on like a special hen with the tie shirt, you know, like, but not something I want to go out and invest like 24 episodes of analysis into. I don't know. I think there's differences in it. I think there's differences in that. I feel them coming. Keijo is an art. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying I would watch it, but I would probably watch it with one hand under the keyboard.
That is the best reply ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, those shows are fun to watch, but they shouldn't be taken super serious. They're just exactly what they are. They're just fun, they're silly, and you generally keep lubricant by your side. High School DxD, Arkano. That's what it's good for. It's got some plot, but hey, we all know what we're watching it for.
The
But
plot.
there are shows out there that are much... Yeah, the plot. The big plots, the two plots that I really like about her. But there are shows that I really go to for that deep and meaningful and thought-provoking and emotional provoking.
Yeah.
Now I just keep thinking about Arkano's breasts. Damn it,
Oh,
Chad.
chat, what have you done? What have you done, chat?
Funny joke, whenever me and my friend want to be like really weird and we go to conventions, we randomly start screaming, "Oh, Issei!" And we wait and see how people turn to us. And there are actually more chicks sometimes that turn to us and go, "Oh, you watch that." It's just like,
You watch that.
dead
Oh,
serious. There's so many chicks at my convention that cosplay as Rias. It's like, I'm in the
Oh.
right place.
Wait, are they like redheads or like, oh, my weakness? Oh, I will excuse myself, my friend. Oh, by the way, whatever happened to the interspecies watch? Bro, I've been trying to save up some time because I hate to put it this way, but like still getting used to stuff at work and whatnot, so I haven't had really time to like center down and do anything. It's coming. That's the best. It's like, yeah, it's coming. I don't know what else to say. The main girl is literally a redhead. What can I say, man? I enjoy good shows. I enjoy good shows like that. Hey, there we go. Isn't the girl from Rosario Vampire also a redhead or a pinkhead, I think?
Pink haired, but her other form is white haired. I'm having a mental blank, but I'm pretty sure it's white haired and then the pink hair because there's two of her inside of her.
Oh. Oh. But with that, though, I will say, what would you rate all 4 episodes coming together like this? Just gearing it back in before we go into more triple X hentai. Oh.
I'd honestly give it a 9 out of 10.
That's pretty good. That is really good. I think I agree with you. I think these 90 minutes really showcased a lot. And I think I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as well. So far for it. At least the 3 I saw were 9 out of 10. I need to watch the last one. It's good. It's really, really good. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like, I don't know. What else could it have used? For you personally, is there anything that would have made it a 10?
I would have liked it if Crunchyroll actually put the ED at the end of it properly.
That would have been
That did frustrate me. As far as the story, I think it's just a 9 because of the story itself. It's not like they could do anything better as far as animation, pacing, or music. I think that was all perfect. But it's just, one of those shows that I really do enjoy. It's not my favorite, but it's one that's just really high up on that tier that I really, really, really love. But yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know what I would change about it, but I just feel like it is a really good show. It's just one of those like 9. It's just not quite at the 10, but it's just really decent.
So I'll flip it. I think I'll add on to it. I think it's a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it had a lot of good elements into it.
I don't know why. I just
Hmm.
like inside of me, I think it's maybe I'm wishing that they explored or they left us even with more existential dread. As fucked up as that may sound, maybe just let us process the feelings a little bit more and hurt us a little bit deeper. But that's just me. Like overall, I think the pacing for it was really well done. The character dynamics is phenomenal in terms of like showcasing everything that's going through, the remembrance scene, so on and so forth. I think I just wanted more pain. Like it felt really, really good, but I don't know. I needed a little bit more
I
pain.
think I wasn't like I was attached to the characters, but I feel like their death didn't hit me as hard. But I really did sympathize with her, so I think that's why I kind of give it a 9 because it didn't make me really feel bad. But I feel like as the story goes on, I will become a lot more attached to the past party as you learn more about them. Because I mean, I liked the corrupt priest because he's had a bit more time to shine, so you get a little bit more fun interactions. But I do feel like the hero is someone that's going to be built up a lot more as the episodes go on, as she goes over those past memories. And I think that's when I'll become a lot more attached to him.
Mhm.
And if it keeps that kind of story going, then I think it would definitely go up to a 9.5 to a 10. I really want to get attached to that hero because I feel like there's something special about him. Like he kind of comes off a little bit ego driven, like he's like, oh, paint me like one of your French girls kind of thing. But I do feel like there's something rich and good about him. He just kind of puts on the persona hero in front of everyone to glamour it up, but I feel like there's a good element to him.
My thing is, guys, remember that these are 4 chapters that make up this first episode, and we are literally just talking about this one like compromisation of an episode. If we're rating it this high, where is it to go? And I think that that's a big element through this. I will say I think the themes really made me like I don't know have like an internal orgasm. I guess like I just came everywhere because like the themes that this show is hitting on, I don't feel a lot of shows have like touched on or are afraid to touch on. Um, so seeing the fact that they actually took the time and were like, you know what, it's uncomfortable. The concepts of death, of legacy, of friends, of memories, of wherever. Like we're gonna go to leave you with these feelings, and you're gonna have to process this. We're not gonna give you the answers. We're not gonna handhold you. We're not gonna do whatever. Like this is for you to work out by yourself. And for me, it's like that's how you treat an audience. You don't just spoon feed them everything. You're not just like, and this is how we're gonna defeat the big bad guy. It's hey, process this fucking emotions, take time with it, and see how that makes you feel. And that was pretty good. Like that's something I really enjoyed.
And yeah, I'm still struggling saying his name. I think it's Himel is
Mhm.
how it's pronounced. But yeah, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I was still getting Frieren right because I sometimes say it as Frieren, but I
Uh-huh.
think it's meant to be pronounced as Frieren.
Oh,
Frieren, yeah.
I can already tell people are going to be in the comment section about like the way I pronounced all the names. I don't care, bro. Like Frieren, Fern, or although they were saying it was like Fern or Fair, something like that. And I was like, oh, well, fuck me, dude. Free rent. There you go. I can already tell people are going to come for us like that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oof.
There's so many ways to say it.
But through that, any like I don't know, what are you looking forward to coming up? Because clearly we're doing this week by week, my brother. This is gem and butter.
I'm really looking forward to Eminence in the Shadow because I've read the next volume, so I know what's coming, and it's just going to be absolute silly and fun. And there's a particular race of character that's going to be in there. It's just like
Particular race
I
of
like my
characters.
Nekos, but yeah, a particular race of characters. It's in the trailer. It's a fox girl, so yeah,
Oh, Fox
yeah.
Girls.
I love a
Ah.
fox girl, and she's hot. Too. Then you've also got this, which is already started off as a bang. Then there's Goblin Slayer, but I've read the light novels for Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer is fun. I feel like it makes a better anime than it makes a better light novel. That might be controversial, but I just find Goblin Slayer just is more fun as an anime. And then also Shield Hero. And I'm really hoping people give Shield Hero Season 3 a second chance because I know Season 2 wasn't beloved, but I've seen the trailers and I've seen some leaks of information that has proven that it's going to be pretty decent. And plus, the next arc that's coming up is going to be a heavy hitter.
I
I'm excited for Eminence, of course. You know that. Eminence is going to be one of those shows as well that we're just going to get a good fucking laugh at. It's also a show that like we don't go 4 hours deep analyzing because it's like The Room. You just get it, you laugh at it, you go through with it. It's fun. It's a fun show. Goblin Slayer. I've been told to watch it, but I've also been told to stay away from it. I've been getting mixed messages from it. Shield Hero people have been told, like you've told me, and other people have told me, stay away from the second season. And then weirdly enough, I've been getting a lot of recommendations for Evangelion. I've been getting a lot of people to tell me to like touch on Evangelion again. Yes, SP, that face.
I know why everyone's recommending it.
You know why everyone?
Guys, don't torture them. Yeah, I know why they're recommending it, because it's fucked up. It's amazing, but it's fucked up.
That sounds like chat.
Everyone in that series is messed up. So messed up.
That it sounds like chat. They're just recommending all of this stuff. But guys,
Yeah.
this first 4 chapters has taken us over 10 hours, 11 hours roughly to analyze. What the fuck?
I did say it would come close to a 12-hour.
It is close to 12 hours. What the fuck? YouTube. What the fuck, dude? 11 hours, over 11 hours, like by now. Like SP, what have we done? I think you'll enjoy Evangelion. It has a lot of characters with strong schemas. Ooh, that's interesting. Guys.
It is a good series, but it's just, it's messed up.
I don't know what else to say other than I appreciate y'all for coming through. SB, you know I love you, man. Any final words? Because I do gotta head out in a little bit to go do homework and eat properly, and you know, aside from the tacos, I actually get some like other like greens in me. So any last things before we get into it? Any final hints you want to drop?
Akanoa's best girl. Really looking forward to the future episodes. Mommy did nothing wrong. Hope you watch season 3 of Shield Hero, and I look forward to all the pitchforks.
Guys, I want to say Mommy did nothing wrong as well. Mommy is fucking fantastic. I want a Toxica like that. It is absolutely fantastic to have all of you guys here. I love you guys. Come and join us for Freedom Fridays. Go follow SP at all the Espiritu analysis and Otaku Espiritu and 101 other channels that SP has. Go show them that love and support. It's just 2, but I love saying that. Go show that love and support to SP. Guys, come and join us. Leave that comment whenever you guys see these videos up. It helps a ton. I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Like, thank you guys, honestly.